this story kicks off about 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm in bed sleeping, of course, when I wake up and I hear of the old smoke alarm. The battery's dead. Of course, there's like a dozen in the house, so I have no idea which one. I'm looking around. My wife gets up. We're both looking. Eventually, we make our way to the basement stairs. And we're listening. Nothing. The beeping had stopped. My wife says, "That's strange." It sure was. I didn't realize how strange until I headed back to bed. I laid down. Immediately I noticed there's a different energy in the room than when I left about 5 minutes, 10 minutes before. The cat jumps on the bed, wondering why we're all awake. I scratch her behind the ears. And then I go to work on releasing the energy that's in the room. I start some prayers, a little meditation, and it's not going away. Not only is it not going away, but the gravity in the room is compressing. And the air is getting tighter in the space, and the sound is all muffled in my ears. And I'm going into this deep focus. I'm focusing, and boom, I'm kind of out. Asleep? No. Somebody at the portal, and they're waiting for me. They've got something to show me, something for me to do. I'm kind of in, out, and I'm halfway between here and there. I call out to Jesus. I call to the angels, my spirit guides, for guidance. And without even thinking, I'm repeating the words, rising into the light, rising into the light, rising into the light. And the images at first were kind of fragmented. Hindsight, I'll call this the crossing time, when you're crossing, and I'm not crossing into the light. I'm not going that far. I'm just getting into that realm that's a millimeter apart from ours. The realm where all this stuff is going on, but we can't see it. Where the spirits that haven't crossed into the light reside, and elementals and other things like that. And in the blink of an eye, I'm in this 1800s era mansion. There's an older man and woman there, and they bring me on a tour of the mansion. And it goes quick, because things are quick when you're traveling in your spirit. You barely think about something and you moved, you're gone, you're there. There's other people there. I'm not sure what they're all doing there. Are they like me? Do they have a different mission? There also were spirits in the house. I didn't know how many, but they weren't showing themselves. But I was feeling anxiety in me, and I knew right away that anxiety I was feeling was coming from the spirits. They knew I was there. It made them uncomfortable. So I meant to ask the others if they would just wait outside and give me some time alone with them. And I didn't need to ask, because the thought entered my mind, and whoosh, we were all outside. We didn't move, we were just there. And I went back in, no physical effort again, to the second floor, where there was in the center of the second floor, this large open gathering room, kind of a social gathering area with chairs and benches and couches kind of placed all about. And that's where I decided to call for the spirits. I called to them. I told them not to be afraid. I didn't mean any harm. And almost immediately, a young boy and his little sister appear on the wooden couch right in front of me. I kneeled to get closer to them, but when I say kneel, I wasn't really kneeling. I just got nearer to them. And I asked, how many of you are in the house? And the boy says, 2. And before the word 2 got out, I was already seeing another spirit. So I think he was just talking about his family. The 2 of them were there. But now there's a man to my left, and he's sitting on a couch. And he's kind of peering at me. Very untrusting eyes. Then some more people appeared. Boom. Next thing you know, there's like 20 people in the room. All sitting about, standing, gathered in small groups, as if they were at some social event. Generally looking towards me. Of course, I was the odd one in the house, the different one, as if I were the host of this event. It made me nervous. I mean, I'll admit that. I was a little nervous about it. And I slowly rose from my position by the children there, and I faced the bulk of them. But as I turned and faced them, the nervousness just kind of poured away from me, and a very warm feeling came inside of me, and I knew that an angel, and if not an angel, Jesus himself, had come to join. I spent a moment absorbing the looks in their faces. There was a variety of expressions, some not too happy, some nervous, just a variety of expressions. And I thought, well, let's start out with asking, who believes in God? But to my dismay, there was only like 4 or 5 hands go up out of like 20 people. But there was one young fella. He just trembled with excitement. He raised his hand, and I said, are you ready to cross over? And he made his way up to me real quickly. And he was dressed nicely dressed young man. He had these loose cut trousers of that era and a similar baggy style linen beige shirt on. His fluffy shoulder length hair, just over the collar. Good looking young fella. And I said, go ahead, walk into the light. I mean, I couldn't see the light myself, but it is always my assumption that if they are ready, that they'll see the light. And but he walks all the way around me, and he kind of pauses by my side, and at this point I kind of put an arm around his shoulder, and we walked away from the group. And I told him, I said, look up and walk toward the light. And then he took focus. He took focus as if he suddenly noticed it. And he took a few steps and faded away. And 2 or 3 went right with him. 2 or 3, I just felt them, boom, boom, boom. A couple went right away, probably the ones that had raised their hands. Without any further encouragement. But I was concerned that I had quite a few that weren't really ready to cross. And I explained to them what it meant to cross over. I talked about the family they could meet, and about how long they had been on earth and without crossing. And I explained about the peace. So now we were probably down to 7, 8 people that hadn't yet to cross. I knew that the rest of them had to go. I just knew That was my mission. That's why I was there. So I rose up, my back towards them, and I just gazed at the area where the youth had walked earlier and had kind of disappeared as he walked off. I called out to Jesus out loud in a loud voice, and I sent the rest of them into the light for resolution. And when I turned around, they were all gone, every last one of them. And darkness fell around me like a great curtain. And the next thing you know, I'm kind of rolling over in bed, waking up. I was back. Now, how do I know that this was not just a dream? I don't. I don't know that it's not just a dream. But I do know that I've been working with spirits in a meditative state, in a dream state, in an awake state, to cross them over, help them. I feel that they call me in to have me assist with these crossings now and again. I think that in some cases the spirits themselves call me to come. I certainly believe that in most cases that when somebody does call me, whether it's Jesus calling me, the spirit guides calling me to come help, or the spirits themselves, there's a process where I rise up in my spirit to get to their level. And this is just one case that I wanted to talk about where I was called in to cross some people over. I feel it's important to get some of these testimonies out so that people understand what's going on out there and how important it is that we understand that Jesus and God exist, and how we handle things down here is very, very important, and that we do it according to God's will. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I've got many more stories, so I look forward to sharing more stories, sharing more testimonies with you. And if you like to continue to watch them, go ahead and subscribe to me on YouTube, and I'll keep putting them out there. Thanks.